SMT Nation, we back nation. We got the third domino to fall amongst the big three wireless providers for their Q2 2023 earnings. The date of this recording, July 27th, and the carrier has provided the details on their quarter and how it went. And it looks pretty good. There's a lot of stuff in there where they, I would say that they outperformed, relatively speaking. I think there were some opportunities in the quarter they were able to capitalize on. And it's definitely worth mentioning what's going on here. So these are the old numbers. I was looking at those very briefly, but what I want to do is I want to switch to today's numbers, to the quarterly numbers, because I just wanted to see how things are going quarter to quarter, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a view into what I do when I look at the carriers quarter over quarter, year over year, comparing these numbers. So like I was saying, there are some good things. You know, when we look at the transition from Q1 to Q2. Now, when you go year over year, there's also some good things too. I'm going to cover all those details in this video. Link for the earnings materials from T-Mobile, their investor page, will be in the description. Also, if you're looking for a way to support your favorite creators, you could buy us a coffee. The Real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Show your appreciation for all the content here on the channel. And if you're looking for a really good deal on the T-Mobile network, check out our partner, Mint Mobile. Use our partner link, mintmobile.com/sneed. It's in the description. Take advantage of the deflation promo pricing. Still looks to be active. Get that great value, their legendary customer care, and of course, you'll be supporting the channel. All right, so let's take a look here. Q2 2023. A lot of guidance raising. I think that's a good indication on the situation at T-Mobile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some chapters. I'll put the video chapters, they'll be in the description and also built into the timeline of the video. Starting first with the network. I don't think we're going to get a lot of updates on the network. I think, you know, it's pretty much the same thing as we saw last quarter. The 5G network covers 90% of people, and the 5G UC, the N41, 2.5 gigahertz covers 275 million people. I think they boosted it to 285. So that kind of shows you a little bit of progress with respect to the N41. It's getting harder and harder to finish these last, few dozens of pops. It's very difficult to do that because you've already done the big cities. You've even done most of the suburbs. Now you're basically trying to expand into rural and getting some of those sites upgraded, building new sites and things like that. So overall, I think solid with the networking side. I think we're going to need some answers to some questions at the earnings call, where executives can tell us a little bit about what they're going to be doing with C-band now that it's clearing, what they want to do with the DoD where they have it, maybe some convergence between the radio gear that's going to go up on tower sites, kind of addressing the demands from mobile network usage, as well as home internet demands are increasing. We'll talk more about those later, but those are some of the things I would want to know and ask from T-Mobile. We'll see if we get those disclosures, but that's basically it for the network. Additionally, I think with regards to just some things we might learn about the network, are they going to take care of this N41 issue in places where they don't have the licenses? Maybe they can give us an update on what's going on with the FCC issue, with the STAs and the spectrum. Maybe they could also tell us a little bit about the fiber circuits and how that progress is going in creating more capacity on the network. Maybe some small cells, millimeter wave updates. We'd love to hear that. I just don't know if we'll get any. All right, transitioning over to financials. Things look pretty good. 3% increase in service revenues year over year. I think there was also like a 5% increase in postpaid service revenues increase year over year. They seem to be guiding up for the rest of the year. So 11% increase on the core EBITDA. They're raising guidance there. The free cash flow came in at $2.9 billion compared to $2.6 billion last quarter. So that's up. In fact, actually year over year, it's up 64%. They're going to go ahead and raise guidance on free cash flow. That is music to investors' ears. And I think anybody who's invested into T-Mobile with respect to the prospects of them being a more legitimate, investor-friendly company. 25.2 million shares were repurchased during the quarter. They spent $3.5 billion in capital on that. And that's basically all, I think, everything we need to know about financials with respect to what we cover here on the channel. I'm sure there's some other things with respect to revenues that we can analyze maybe for another video. Let's transition over to wireless, the main core of their business. Net accounts added was 299,000. They almost hit 300K, so that's great. It says best in industry. Net connections were at 1.6 million. Okay, so that's best in industry, and they're going to guide up on that. Phone net adds came in at 760,000. I think that was above expectations. They're probably going to guide up for the rest of the year. I think they're guiding up to 5.6 million, for total for the year. And we'll look at that breakdown once we get past like Q3. It'll probably give us some clarity there. Postpaid phone churn came in at 0.77. Folks, that is the upset of the year. I did not expect this. I said I would be surprised if they could beat Verizon at 0.83. And then AT&T came in at 0.79, and I said I would be completely shocked if T-Mobile could beat that. It just didn't seem likely. But I think what we're seeing is something that's very telling about the plans that are available on the market right now. I think it's very important. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But the postpaid churn at 0.77 is absolutely phenomenal. Good job by T-Mobile. Clearly, they offer products and services that people want and are willing to move to. And with the restructuring and some of the market changes that have been happening with, AT&T, with respect to some of their legacy plans, and then with Verizon with the new plans, maybe we should have saw this coming. Maybe it's just gotten to that point where the value at T-Mobile is understood by the market and people are responding to it. I think that's where we're at here. So best in industry churn. It is very clear they're putting good things together here. Home internet came in at 509,000 additions. That's a little soft compared to, the predicted, but I still think that's pretty solid. Anything above 500K is probably fine. 3.7 total subscribers on that service now. I don't think there's going to be much slowing down for T-Mobile in the near term. I think that is, again, a point of emphasis for their company where they show growth. It's really, really good numbers for them there. They're probably going to be guiding up over 2 million for the year with respect to that service. With respect to prepaid, you got plus 124,000 net adds. That's a nice bump from last quarter, which came in very soft at like plus 20K. So they're doing nice there. And the prepaid churn, very good at 2.62, very close to AT&T and Cricket. All right, so that's really, really good. Clearly, I think T-Mobile has put itself in a position within the industry, and when customers look at the marketplace, they look at them as the value leader. I think that's why we're seeing the churn rates where they are. Total connections at the company are now approaching 117 million, officially at 116.6. This does not include, I think, about 600 or 700,000 Sprint and legacy plans or customers that were disconnected due to decommissions of legacy network connections. So that's something important to note. I got a lot of positive vibes from this earnings report. I see a lot of guiding up with respect to financials. I see a lot of guiding up with respect to customer growth. And I think that basically tells us that T-Mobile is in its own lane when it comes to growth. Then there's AT&T, which grows maybe not as fast, but clearly they do grow, but at a profitable clip. And then there's Verizon, which on the consumer side just doesn't really seem to be interested in this growth. Now, what we have to see is when we start looking at ARPU and ARPA with respect to T-Mobile, I think those things are going to be interesting. We're going to be hearing from, I think, Mike Sievert, the CEO. He's going to be on CNBC, and then he's probably going to do an earnings conference. We'll see what he says, and we'll get more details on this, but I wanted to get these preliminary numbers out to you guys, and they look pretty good. Lots of strength at T-Mobile. Lots to celebrate. Hashtag T-Mobile for all the real ones that watch this all the way through. But tell me what you guys think of the report. All good. What do you think was weakness? I see a lot of strength personally. But I'd love to hear what you have to say on this. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.